Gray's Garden, an alien testing facility. I have no idea if this audio is going to be going through because the last few live streams it hasn't gone through at all. Thus, if it doesn't go through, I'm talking for nothing and I'll have to do it during my video. But the whole point of this alien testing facility is basically, well, I'll have to come up with a story. But there's the queen matriarch who lives in here. And basically, it's just the Greys working alongside with the reptilians to test out humans and to make hybrids out of them and to also use them as for food. Thus, it's an alien testing facility and also a feeding facility as well. See, those are the minor rendering issues that I was talking about, and that's pretty much as much that I want to cope with it. Well, that's as bad as it gets is back there. And there as well. So it's not horrible. But as I said, that's as far as I really want to be pushing this build. Right now it's currently at 7.1 times, which is to date my smallest build ever. The only reason it looks big is because of the elevation and because of the not look as big. And this is the other area where I get the rendering issues. This is the worst area. So when this says you can't really see it, we'll have to do it during nighttime. The truth is in here. So I'll be going through the build with you, but first we'll do some exterior shots. It's not horrible, the rendering, but as I said, I don't really want to be pushing it past this. I think it would have been nice to add some trees on the outside here to cover this up, because I did want to camouflage it as much as possible. Because it really is supposed to be unsuspecting. But then again, you really won't be getting visitors here. Well, you will. However, any visitors that do stay here overnight are subject to the aliens testing, and they're also subject to be eaten. So I used the covenant sign here. Yes, that goes through there, but I can't really help that. I used the covenant sign and then just turned it around and put Gray Garden. But yeah, there's no rendering issues out here. You see all the metal supports here. Let's get rid of this music. It's annoying me. Yeah, you see all those supports there, and the supports are just basically holding up all the platforms up here. And it's also acting as more support for the freeway as well. Normally what I would do is, in real life, you would be filling this up with concrete to help support that, but that's good enough. This is not a lot of weight that I have up top anyways. So our main entrance is here. We pop on through, and then we hit our main courtyard. As far as turrets, I went minimal, just enough to keep the gunners and raiders at bay. Now I do have the 3 cages here, one for a raider and 2 for gunners, but they're not filling up, and I believe that's because of the settlers, the size, and also I have a bunch of cadavers here, dead corpses, for lab testing. Now for it to work, I would have to go out, come back, and get it to do it that way. But the problem when I go out of side of this settlement, it also gets rid of the cadavers. So when I go do my video, I think I'll actually do my first video on this place. I'll have to work around that. So this would be for the base occupants. Obviously, it's just bare minimum. It's just to show people what I would be making this room into. You'd have your washing, you'd have a TV, I'd probably have a couch there. Yeah, I'd have also a bunch of storage here, and I would block this up or have some curtains here. This is a secondary entrance that leads to the outside, hence the power door, but it's a nice easy exit where you can just plop down here. It looks much better at nighttime. However, we'll continue. Another thing that I would have done if I had more build limit was actually close that off and put an actual door there, but it being the base inhabitants, it's not really a big deal, and it's pretty shielded from the rain. But again, this leads to a patio and to the front. So I probably have benches and stuff there. Like, I can always add it afterwards when I go do my video, but I don't really see the point, to be honest. I left the greenhouse nice and open for the robots to work around. I originally had it closed, but I just couldn't have it that way. It didn't make sense with the robots there. This I would probably have a bunch of shelving here, gardening tools, etc. But yeah, I love how this turned out. It turned out magnificently well. So we come on through here and then onto our main courtyard, which is the Grey Garden courtyard. We got our bell here for getting all the settlers back. I just need to take a sip of water here. So I decorated in the inside as much as I possibly could. I felt that was a necessity. However, you have areas like this landing that's completely empty that I would fill up with, I have no idea what, but I would fill it up. So we come down there, and then we come up here. This is one area that I was able to semi-do. So that gives you an idea of what I would be doing with the empty spaces. That leads to our secondary entrance. That's walled off. Originally, I was going to wall this off. And thank God I didn't, because the fencing looks incredibly good in this, and it really opens it up, and I'm able to take good video shots. With the wall, it would have just looked horrible. I did originally have that in one of my live streams, but I ended up just getting rid of it. In fact, I think I ended up getting rid of that entire video. Because that entire video, I basically just got the greenhouse done. I got a bunch of walling up, and I ended up scrapping. So I had an hour-and-a-half live stream that I basically did like 5 minutes of actual work in by the time I ended up scrapping everything. Great, gives some good views. We'll go up there later. So the part about Grey Garden is that I did want it camouflaged, which is why I have all the greenery here, but it's not as camouflaged as I would have liked it to be. But that is alright, because it's supposed to be an unsuspecting family farm run by robots, which is actually run by the Greys and the Reptilians, with human cooperation. So the whole goal of the hybridization program is to hybridize the reptilians and the reptilians with humans. So we would go down here, which we'll go later. This is the other side of the entrance. So originally I had these barn doors as well, but I ended up changing them to the garage. Now I only have the switch on the one side for this. That was okay. Yeah, the truth is in here. So rendering for this isn't bad until we get to about there. So this is the worst for the rendering, is on this side, which is why I had to cap it off at 7.1, because that's pretty much as I want to handle for rendering issues. Yeah, again, minimal defenses, just a couple heavy laser turrets just to ward off any gunners or raiders that may stop by. So I have the tractor there, and that's pretty much just to cut the grass and stuff. As far as the mod goes, I did have simple green, but I got a campfire stuck here, so I had to delete simple green, and that mod was no longer available. So Andrew came out with another mod. I forget what this one is, but it's the updated version of simple green, and it has the shorter grass. The only thing is it doesn't add as many of the trees that I would like it to add, but that's fine. I do actually like the shorter grass, because that way now not all the grass is popping up through here. You do have stuff like this, but I actually quite like that. So we come through here, we're met by 2 heavy machine guns just to protect the place. I mean, no one's really going to come in here when there's reptilians and greys on base with 2 UFOs, so really no one's going to be coming here. So again, the tractor's just to cut the grass and to do farming work outside. Where shall we go from here? For the greenhouse, I just basically cleaned it up a little bit. I got rid of all the planters that were really astray. What I wanted to do was reorganize these so they were straight, and obviously put something underneath here. But as far as the build size go, I can't really do anything. I did add something here. There's one of the robots, does go over here and work on that area. So I had to position that correctly. And this plops us out back on this side, which again is the greenhouse area. So I wanted all the greenhouses protected, obviously, not only from excessive sunlight and rain, but in case there's hail, rad storm rains, you don't want your plants out in the open like that. You want them shielded, especially if it's getting a lot of rad storms and rain. So yeah, I'm quite happy with how that area turned out. And then this leads to our secondary entrance, which has a security door. And that pops us out front again. So again, this is the best area for the rendering. We don't really get any rendering issues out here whatsoever. It's just until we get to the other side. So we'll go back through here. This is a Covenant fence entrance, which I love these. I only used the one, and like I said, I'm super happy that I ended up going with the wire fencing instead of solid walls, because it looks 100 times better. This stretches all the way down. I just did the basic lighting with the blue and red, so I need a drink of water. This we can probably actually get rid of. Those don't really need to be there anymore. Those are supposed to be supports for the support trim. It goes down there. You can just barely squeeze through here. This goes into the other side. A nice opening. So, I believe we shall commence with the actual tour. Yeah, I'm super happy with that, how that turned out. Now I had to use a lot of these statues because obviously I can't have 50 NPCs at my build. So these lifelike statues are an absolute gold and treasure to have at the build, because it really signifies what I would be doing and how many NPCs would actually be here. A heavy laser turret is in case the Queen Matriarch ends up snapping and eats everyone. So there's the Queen Matriarch that came down from whatever planet she's from, and the UFO. The rain around here is an actual transporter pad that I just ended up glitching into the UFO just to give it a little bit more character. Now these switches are done by logic gates, so it's double side switches, and I think there's 4 logic gates on site. I would have liked to have done all with logic gates, but I couldn't do that. So that's the Queen Matriarch, and this is one of the traps for human feed. Because all the humans here that do work, all the hybrids and aliens do eat humans. So we go up here. I put just the power armor workshop there. The diagnostic, this is a break area of the television. And then we got all of our computer stuff here. We got a command and control center. Blah, blah, blah. And this is where our food would come in. But yeah, it's not catching anyone. I have to actually go outside of the build, etc. So we got a prodder, which helps them go through. The prep is for downstairs, so that preps the food. that would be closed while that's happening. And then once that's done, yeah, see, even my dough is missing from here. I had a ragstag dough, but it's now missing. So yeah, we have our lab technician. We have a Marine here, Space Marine. And we have one of our Cobra Commanders overseeing the whole project. Again, our beta wave emitters that are keeping the Queen Matriarch somewhat cooperative. So the alien ship can get out. These warehouse windows would either open up or it would just simply smash through the windows, either or. I would have personally liked them to open up. However, if it really needed to, that's why I put the glass up top. It could just smash its way through. So I'm quite fond with the greenery here. So again, these are all just computer stuff. Our power supply, control center. We have our logic. We go down here. We have our population control management, another control center. And that goes outside. Now, it's not the right logic gate, so I actually have to turn power onto that one from the outside. Yes, this goes all the way around. So you can turn power off to this, because I'll end up needing to repair those. And a camera to film everything. Because basically it's to see how humans react to captivity. And our control center here that you can sit down. And the USO terminal that we can we get at? Yeah, we can. Yeah, I was very happy with how that turned out. There's some incomplete areas like up here, but that's fine. So let's go to the other side and open that door up. So the logic gate only works if at least it needs power from this as well. And so I made this intentionally look like a keyboard, or not a keyboard, but a piano. Kind of like the aliens playing their own music while they're on the alien, or while they're in the human world. So the aliens dance to no one's tune but their own is basically what that signifies. So you can open it up from up here. But really this is no different than me using double switches, so I'm going to have to find a different thing other than the and. And those lights shouldn't be going off when I turn this off. It's because there is a glitch with the lights. So yeah, there's that. This courtyard is kind of unfinished, but finished enough where I was content with it. So we can go back down here. We'll walk the length of this. And then we'll show you to the other alien side. And then the rest of this will make sense. Another drink of water here. Just give me a second. So I'll be careful not to use any profanity whatsoever in this live stream or discuss anything that people do not want me to discuss. I'll keep it nice and clean. So again, 2 Space Marines, and we're met by our logic door. So this is what's really causing a lot of the rendering issues on the outside, and you'll see what I'm talking about once I get in here. So we have another few more Space Marines. This has a logic gate as well. That's not supposed to be open, but that's fine. So this is an actual settler that we can talk to.
I just want to trade a few things.
Of course.
And there are a couple Space Marines. This goes into work area / industrial place for the cooling and coolant, and to also manage the water management. We have a few Mr. Handies here available, just in case the other ones crap out. I would actually like to have had at least 6, so to be able to replace them all. However, I wanted to keep that down. That's just to give you an idea of what I would have in here. And I'll be safe always. So this enters one of our airlocks. This is all cryo chambered. It's kept at I think a cool -20, -25. That's mostly for the aliens. So you're only allowed to open one door at a time. And this enters our alien testing facility. So this is where we do all the human tests for the aliens and humans and human hybrids. Do the tests on all their victims, I guess you could say. So let's have a little yum yum. Ah, delicious. Yummy. So let's make it really gory here. Oh yeah. Nothing like consuming some meat. So we have our airlock, we have another test area, and again I try to that these panels again are what's really causing a lot of the rendering issues. So we have our NPCs, our user scanner that we can scan things on, look at different parts of the body, etc., etc. We have our X-ray, and I try to make it put some detail in here. But this is where the human subject tests would be getting tested on, basically. So I'll show you upstairs here in a second, but this would be another area where they would observe the test subjects in captivity. That's why we have a camera. There's one of the reptilians that hasn't disguised themselves. That is in true form. Otherwise, yes, they can disguise themselves as humans. So this would reach one of our airlocks and back through here. So one door is supposed to be closed at all times. This would be a bad area for basically making humans into sludge. I was going to put something on the holographic thingy, but I never got a chance. I glitched in a campfire to have that believable. And another beta emitter. So I have these coolant things going all over to signify that yes, I wanted this place refrigerated. And of course some more control consoles. So alien hybrids would be testing it out and trying to make, super mutants. They're trying to make the super race, basically. That's really not supposed to be there, but we'll leave it there. Yeah, I'm very happy with how this turned out. I love the camp light that actually showed through from the top to the bottom. Very wonderful. So we'll do a test of what these things can do. Basically, it's just spitting fire from all directions. So that person ends up getting torched, whoever the lucky fellow is that gets to go through that one. And then this particular person gets to get electrified. Gets to be electrified. And I love the scoring that it makes on the wall. Super sweet. So that is one of our alien testing facilities. Now we go through here and we have the coolant pump. These are both coolant pumps that we have here. But yeah, I have all the schematics for bolts that go all the way around, as well as making it look very high tech. I didn't get it everywhere because I really needed to keep it toned down just because of the rendering. So this shoots us in to our prisoner / meat area. So we have another space marine, our prepping area that's supposed to hold meat. This is our food paste waster, so you'd stick a human in here. So basically you take him. First we'll eat him. Yum, 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 yum. And you would take Buddy here, bring him over under the food paster, and that would be served to guests or to the occupants. Yum yum. So we have one of our prison areas open for live meat.
We've got to do something to stop these raider attacks.
Well, you don't have to do anything but just sit right there. So yes. And then another reptilian that isn't in disguise, and that pillory is not being used. So that's another, not human testing, but basically where the meat would be prepped. Hence our cooking stove, and the cooking stove is open, so it's vented properly on the outside. Mostly because I couldn't get any pillars across here unless I put it up to here. So that's why I closed it off. Yeah, very happy with how that turned out. And then this just leads upstairs, which we will show you later because I don't want to take you through that way quite yet. Again, all the airlocks are signified airlocks. I'm very happy with how this turned out. But that's the reason. That's the reason why it's not rendering properly on the outside. It's because of all the sheer detail in there. So this plops us back out here. So let's show you another area. I just have one junk area, and that's her. As far as weapons and armor go, I don't have any of that.
I'm sure I have something you need.
I just put her here so we can have some trading. So that's one of the settlers. Actually, that's the second settler. And I put this lovely statue here just to help build this up, but I would normally have benches or something around there to help complete it. And then this goes all the way around into here. I actually should have filled that up, but that's fine. That's our water pump area with barrels. I would have, again, put more storage here, but I didn't really want to put a lot of materials here again because of the rendering outside. And that pops us out here. So that was glitched in, obviously, to this area. And then we come up here. And this is where dinner is served: barbecue thigh and breast fillet. And we all know what that means, since we all know what the choice of meat here is at Gray's Garden. So we have our VIP, which would be where the guests stay. These residential would probably be for the main humans or human hybrids that would stay on base. That would be their permanent quarters. Now each one just has a master bed. Otherwise they would have a shelving, blah, 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 blah. But I had to keep all that toned down yet again because of the rendering outside. So we have a research area that's restricted, do not keep out. We have another one of our guys here that oversees with the trap door. Well, that's the food, but like I said, nothing's coming through. I have to leave the actual build and come back, which again will get rid of my cadavers. So we have a pick-me-up station for inhabitants. This would be the eating area, which I didn't mind because it is hidden by the overpass. TV, one way. So you'd come in here and basically the gunner would be trapped. I would have that door closed. And then he would be observed through here until he falls down here. And then he's trapped. This door would be closed, quite obviously. And that's how you get our test subjects. Let's go back out here. Our rad screeners. I probably would have put a rad sprayer in there, but I had to keep it, again, toned down.
Yes.
Well, it's becoming nighttime. I have a bench here, have a TV, have our food paster, which we all know what the meat of choice is here, Patriots, and then our bartender. This is a washroom. Another VIP area, trap area, which again goes down. And we're confronted by all the scientists. quite a frightening sight if you're VIP guests. So the VIPs are treated very specially when they come to Grey Garden. They get special treatment. Very important people always get special treatment. And here at Grey Garden, we make sure that you get the most special treatment that we can possibly give you. And that just leads down to the water area. So we made good use of every square inch of the build, which is what I always like to do. I have a cooler here, a barrel for ale or water.
Yeah?
We have one of our settlers here. We're supposed to have another one there. And all the hides. And we both know where the hides would be coming from the bodies. This meat would also be coming from, we all know where it would be coming from. A research area. Again. That would be one-way see-through. And they do have something like that, but these are the only glass ones that are bulletproof. And they're only bulletproof up to a certain point. So we do have fish here because obviously there's a river here. So there is some variation of cuisine. And this is more seating area. So you have all your amenities. You have a happy radio. And some more seating area with another barbecue, fish, etc. So this is one area that I was able to do up a little bit. And this plops us out here again. So now we may continue to one of our elevators. Our security person is here. We have one of our Cobra commanders, overseer. But we will wait to go up there. So this is the stairs that go down. One of the doors that does not have a logic gate is this one. So this does go down. Conduits here. Some wires I did glitch in, but I try to make it as realistic as possible. Because with any service like plumbing, electrical, that's why I love lofts and in the high rises where they completely strip the ceiling out. You want everything exposed, because if there is a leak, then guess what? You want to be able to work on it without having to get at access panels or cut holes open. I would much rather have the electrical and plumbing and all that jazz open so you can service them. And being in the trades for, how old am I now? 44? Being in the trades for, almost 25 years now? You really learn what works and what does not work. And having an open ceiling like that is really what you want. You want all your wires and all your plumbing to be accessible. But then again, you wouldn't be going minimum code either with plumbing and wires. You'd be going heavier gauge wire. You'd be going heavier age skid and skid is the thickness of plumbing. Even with gas fitting, you'd be going heavier. So it can take a bombardment basically. And this shoots us out to the other side. Now this really should have been a surgery area, but I did make it into another residential area, probably for the inhabitants here. So this area I wasn't able to fill up quite as much as I would have liked, but you get the gist. This brings us to another laboratory, bathroom, which is here. Humans still need to go to the washroom. As do the hybrids, not so much the reptilians and greys. We go up here. This would be another area that I would do something with seating. I'm not sure with what, maybe another storage area. So this goes into more alien testing. We got a couple more space marines. This again, I completely did nothing with. Well, that's fine. That gives us a nice view of the build. Kind of glitching, but not too bad. Yeah, the build pretty much ends right around here-ish. But yeah, I probably would have put another cubicle here to actually have a doctor area. But this goes into our second lab facility. So we have our x-rays, we have another Cobra commander here overseeing. We have a bunch of computer stuff. So there's a head because they chopped off a head. And we're going to eat him because we're hungry. Oh, delicious. There's that. Scientist. I had to glitch that in. But I needed lighting as well. Actually, that one we don't need, but that's fine. And there's scientist here as well. Delicious. So that's our second testing facility. And it also gives a fantastic view of here. Normally, like you can see this through here, but I would have liked to have had this one-way glass, so it would appear black on the outside, but you could see it going the other way. And the whole part about that was the Queen Matriarch gives an oversight of the entire build, basically. So she is the one that's basically running the base, yada yada yada. So yeah, the base really comes to life at nighttime. Because it really pops at night. So the elevators, we will wait, and then that goes back down. And then this goes up top to the fencing areas, or testing areas. So there's our cage, and the other cage is on the other side. So I didn't realize these hooked up until now, and I would have probably made this into another area that we could have used seating on. And let me come back down here. And back down to the main courtyard. Now, do I want to show you this? Sure. We'll go up to the very top. Finally use these elevators now that the top is open. So these areas would be off limits to any visitors visiting the actual base. We come out here. We have our telescope, which is why I have all the red tactical lighting here. We have another Space Marine guarding all the sensitive areas. And the one thing I love about my builds is that everything is interconnected. And another reason why I wanted to build two of these going across the top was because I had the elevators completely shut off. I could have made this into another exit area, but I wanted it to be shielded by a door. So when I did have the elevators turned off, this was the only way that I was able to get up top, basically. Yeah, it's gorgeous from up here. So we'll go back there later. So we have our telescope here. Well, that's just to see the night sky, etc. The moon. Oh, it's moving too. Sweet. That's pretty badass. Moving fast. It also gives a nice, well, somewhat nice, it used to anyways, view of the entire build. And this finally brings us up to our last area up top. So we have a radar dish for communicating. Another fabulous view of the build. Again, I try to make the stairs as even and great as possible. Like, that's very smooth, but that's also the reason why you see all those support beams down below, was to support this stuff. So our radar dish, we have our recruit beacon, which is now turned off because I do not want any more settlers. And then this goes down to basically a communication area. Another Space Marine. And this would go to communicating with the telescope and using the radio, etc. We'll come back up here. There's a switch for our radar dish. And this is where our last alien ship is, with two Space Marines guarding it. And that's a walk around. Again, I could have built stuff. Well, no, that's pretty much the end of the build right here. I think the workshop ends right about here-ish. Uh-oh. You'll have to go around. So I figured there were storage containers up here anyways. I might as well make another one that I can actually put something in there. And that opens up. And then we have our second UFO, which again, either these would open up or it would just smash its way through. No, normally I would have a bunch of computers and stuff in here and scientists, but again, I had to keep the build a little bit tame because of the minor rendering issues that I was getting outside of the exterior. So I would have needed at least another build bar to get it the build to where I would have liked it to have gotten to, but honestly, I'm very happy that I was able to get this amount of detail in. So we'll go this way. That's gorgeous. Really happy with how that turned out. Yeah. So we have another radar dish here, radar dish down there. But as you can see, the build really, the settlement really comes to life at nighttime. That's when it really, really, really pops and stands out. I made this barn just to give it the illusion. Like, I would have liked to have disguised it a lot more than I had, but again, I'm suffering because of the build limit. And these would be a couple more housing residential for the actual occupants that do live here. And then this brings us around to the elevator with another Space Marine. And then we can get down from here. That should have been blocked off, but that's fine. And this brings us down. Basically, a lot of places we can go up here. That brings us to this level. Another heavy laser turret there, but I didn't go crazy with the defenses. And that's how we can come back to here. So we will take the elevator back down into the Queen Matriarch's housing. It's nice that I'm finally able to use these elevators. A little bit touchy to get at, but that's fine. Well, this brings us down into the Queen Matriarch's area. Back down in here. So again, extremely happy with how the build turned out. How many hours do I have in this build? Probably about 60, 65 hours, but also probably another 8 hours of contemplation. Like me not playing the game, but contemplating on how I'm going to be doing everything and how everything's going to be cohesive. So probably around 70 hours this took me. Well, that's not really that long, considering it's only 7.1 times the build limit. The majority of my builds are normally a minimum of 9 to 10. But again, I had to slow down because of the rendering issues. So we'll take another exterior view here shortly. But we'll give you another nighttime tour. That's where you can really see that come out more. Barbecue thigh and breast fillet. Water purifier. Skin from the bodies. Yeah, I love it at nighttime. Nighttime it really, really pops. So the bartender's obviously off of duty. And this goes all the way around. Again, this is only one side of these doors. No logic gates for this. So I think I have 3 logic gates. But I do find that they glitch out. Not the logic gates themselves don't glitch, but they glitch out some of the wiring outside. So when you do turn them off, it turns off some of the wire or lights when they're not supposed to be turned off. It's just still supposed to be getting power, but that's fine. I fixed those before I started the video. And that leads outside. Well, that's basically the tour in a nutshell. Gray garden. I forgot to put Gray's garden. That's fine. So the whole idea is for people not to suspect that this is a human testing or an alien/human testing facility. I mean, we are supposed to have visitors, but any visitors that do sleep overnight will most likely get tested on and eaten. My attempt to camouflage with these green things. But yeah, the rendering is actually kind of stable. I'll never get rendering issues inside at this size, but it's just the outside stuff that I'll get rendering on. It's not horrible. Truth is in here. Do another tour all the way around. So if I go do a video, and I'm really apprehensive on editing videos, because number one, I have to edit this on PS5. The only way that I can do it is for me to post it on YouTube and for me to record, because I can't transfer USB files from my PC5 to my PS5 to my PC, like I try with my War Thunder, because it won't accept 4K videos. My computer has a seizure whenever I try to play 4K videos on it. So I haven't really tried it with Fallout because it's not 4K, but I suspect I would have the same problem with it. So for me to actually do a proper video, I would have to somehow post it on YouTube, then record everything off my PC from YouTube, then I can actually do a real edit. Because the video editor that they have for PS5, it's decent if you only want to do a 4-minute video, but if you want to do a 25-minute video, you can only have a certain number of clips. You can't do several voiceovers. You can only have one music track, one audio track. So you're very limited. Like, I can't put layer on layer on layer of different voiceovers, basically. I also can't add clips from movies or anything else, so I can't really edit it the way that I would like to if I were to have my PC. So I'm not too keen about doing an actual video on this when my videos don't really get viewed in the first place. I mean, a lot of my short videos took they always took a minimum of 6 hours for just a 57-second video. Some of them would take up to 12 hours, depending on how much research I would have to do on the plane, how much research I would have to watch full movies, etc. So some of my videos would actually take 12, 18 hours for a 1-minute video. Now that wouldn't take as long for this, but I would still have to record everything. Yeah, it would just be a nightmare for doing it for PC, and that's not worth the time. Why did I stop posting War Thunder videos? Because I absolutely despise Gaijin. That's why. I refuse to do live streams, and I refuse to post any more videos. The game is erroneously unfair. That's why. I will not support a game that A, does not support me, and B, it's a pay-to-win game. And I've spent probably close to $1,000 on that game through 3 accounts. So on my PC, I spent about $300, and on my PSN account, when I bought my PS5, I spent another $300. And I have premiums like the AV-8A, the Sea Harrier, which isn't a premium, but it's a squad, so that was on sale during Christmas that I was able to buy. But all my premiums are pretty much nerfed. Like my Spitfire, on my PC I have a 66% success rate. I have almost 1,300 matches with only 350 deaths, with 1,600 air kills and over 2,000 ground kills, and I think 150 sea kills. And it's completely different on the PSN. Like, I have 49% success rate on my Spitfire. All of my planes actually have like a 44 to, I think my highest one is my Sea Harrier with a 51% rate. So I will not support Gaijin because Gaijin promotes A, toxicity, B, they promote pay to win, and it's just not a fair game. Like, that's what I loved about Metal Gear Solid Online, is that you bought the game, and yes, it had levels, but even if you were a level 9, you could still fight against a level 75, and then they didn't have unfair advantages. Like, whenever I play my Sea Harrier, I'm always up against F4 EJs and radar missiles, and F5Cs and F5Es, and I cannot fight an F5E or a C in a Sea Harrier or in the AB-8A. And my AIM-9Ls are pretty much useless against them. If they're paying attention, then there's no way I'm going to hit them. I dumped 4 AIM-9Ls on one enemy and not a single one hit. They all flared them. But yet when I try to flare, they normally hit me. So that's the reason why. They just promote toxicity. They made someone off the War Thunder forum, someone who was a troll, they made him into a technical forum moderator. So I don't even go on the forum anymore, mostly because I was kicked out because I called out all the administrators. Well, I kicked myself out on purpose, basically. I made sure that they kicked me out. Yeah, I will not support that toxic game, ever. I don't even play it anymore. I have it uninstalled on my PSN. So yeah, it's just I refuse to do any more War Thunder videos. It's not happening. God, I love this during nighttime. That's when all this stuff pops. And a lot of the stuff is really incomplete. I try to keep as much as the rock face as possible. Yeah, very, very happy with how this build turned out. Extremely happy. And at nighttime is when you can really see the shadowing from the fire barrels, which was an unintended consequence, but a very welcome consequence, because everything turned out quite nicely. And another reason as well I don't post on War Thunder is that I can't post shorts anymore. I can't post shorts on using Share Factory. I have to do full videos. For me to post a short means that I have to record one of my full videos, which is what I did with my last short on War Thunder. What was it, War Thunder? No, Fallout 4 I did a short on. So I can't do shorts on PS5. And my PS5 does not accept 4K, or my PC does not accept 4K videos without having a seizure. So that's the build in a nutshell. It looks big, but really it's not. It's only 7.1 times. The only reason it's big is because of the double overpass bridge and because of the terrain. It was one of the more challenging builds that I had to do. I'd say almost more challenging than Kingsport. And Kingsport was quite challenging. Yeah, that's that. And talking about Kingsport, why don't we go there? We can go on a little tour.
General? Yeah?
Gentlemen. Kingsport. Now this is big. Oh, I forget what Kingsport is. 10 times? 10.5 times? There you go. Now this, Kingsport, is what I really concentrated on defenses. I'm a little bit hesitant on doing it during a live stream because I'm quite certain that it will freeze. But this is a big build. And oddly enough, I don't get really much rendering issues on this side. So we get to there, I guess there I do. Yeah, our harbor. Now this is a big build. This is probably one of my favorite builds. I did build on this with my PS4 Pro when I had that 5 years ago, but it was just to do an underground bunker for my movie. So it was basically just building a set for my Fallout 4 movie that I ended up creating. So this is the first time that I actually got to work on Kingsport as a normal settlement. Yeah, I love this build. This is probably my favorite build up to date. This took a lot of work. And everything is interconnected. Like the amount of interconnectivity that I placed in this build is quite astounding even to me. This spans all the way down here to the shipyard. So I'm pretty sure now that I go back to Grey Garden, it will get rid of those cadavers, and I might even have a raider or two inside. Depends how much time I spend out here. Anyways, this is not a Kingsport tour. There it is, 10 Pines. So I'm just trying to kill time to see if I can actually get... Why is there 24 people at 10 Pines? I must have the recruiting beacon on. Shiza. Normally I would turn the recruiting beacon off, but since I've eaten those corpses, I won't be saving any of the data from this. Where are we? Oh, the workshop. Yeah, this is another build that I'm super happy with. Where the hell do I get down here? This is my second attempt at 10 Pines. Oh, you want in? Come on in. Right in my way. I have to open those up from inside. By far one of... I think 10 Pines is actually one of my more favorite builds as far as detail goes. Like this I really wanted to give a fantasy look on. Someone's getting pounded. Never even really used these elevators, did I? This build has an incredible amount of detail in it. Again, not as much as I would have liked. That's fine. Yeah, this build took a long time to make. With this build, or should I say infatuated would be a more appropriate term to use. It's so fucking dope. Our space, one of our settlers is not in position. PC area. One of our security doors. And there we go. I'm fucking totally, I fucking love this build. Again, not quite where I would have liked to have gotten it up to, but I certainly like it a lot better than my first build, and my first build was quite awesome. Oh, this is the first time I've actually seen it with all the green here. I didn't have the greenery downloaded. Like, look at that. Doesn't that look fucking cool? Or, sorry, fluffing cool? I don't mean to swear. But unfortunately, there's rendering issues on the outside. Oh, there's everyone.
Nothing to worry about.
What is... Oh, it's on the outside. That one should be on the inside. Oh, beautiful. Oh. Get a proper exterior shot finally. That's where the rendering kind of gets fluffy. It seemed to have stabilized somewhat. Anyways, let's go to another build. Enough time should have passed by now. Ah, the castle. That's the second thing. They should be white. But this is from... I don't even have any of the guns on. They're on now, but